Hey everyone, this is Erin, the founder of Lady Bee Collective. And like I said a few days ago, I'm super excited because I'm going to share some portions, some excerpts from my ebook. So this is from my ebook, A Guide to Taking Back Your Life. Like I said before, you can go to ladybeecollective.com and you can download it for free and you can follow along. I'm just going to be talking about the different sections every week because I think it's important and I think it's time to discuss some big foundational aspects that we can work on. So for the first one, I'm going to talk about boundaries. Yes, boundaries. These are very hard. I still struggle with boundaries. I think we all do. And yeah, it's just hard. It's even hard for me to talk about, even thinking about them. But setting boundaries is so important. I didn't realize that, especially as women, it's very, very difficult sometimes for us to set boundaries and even know what we want. Like people are giving us our opinions, society is giving our opinions, and where do we fit in? So we tend to kind of not always set boundaries and keep them and be consistent and all that good stuff. And we kind of just let ourselves go and be who we think we should be. And I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to figure out who I was and figure out who was best in my life, and I decided to write part of this. So the first part I will talk about is to get ready to see the truth behind who people are. So that's one of the hardest aspects. This is all hard, but we really see truly who people are in our life when we set boundaries. A lot of times people can be there and we don't really realize that they're not the best for our lives. But when we set boundaries, we see how well they respect us and what we want. And if you can't accept them, it's really hard to be a really good, contributing, uplifting member of our circle. So I think with me, the way I saw it is that right away people will have kind of a confused look on their face, because if you didn't set them in the beginning, you can't expect people to just know what you're talking about and just go, oh, okay. But for me, the big factor was efforts, where people consistently trying to make that effort. And to be honest, some of it should just be clear, just respectful and uplifting and kind and communicate effectively. But a lot of times that's not how people are. So if people are showing the effort and they're asking questions and they want to know more, that's a great sign. If they are kind of making you compromise on your boundaries, or you can kind of see little by little they're pushing you in directions where you feel uncomfortable and they're not really respecting these boundaries after you've stated them clearly, then maybe those people aren't right for you, or maybe they have to kind of take a back seat and take some time or take some distance. That's up to you. And as you go through this process of starting to set boundaries, you will see kind of how that is. And although it's uncomfortable, you will get a better feeling and more confidence and trust in yourself to make the best decisions for who should and shouldn't be a part of this. And next we have starting slow. Just like anything, we want to build positive habits with boundaries. So if you set all these boundaries right away, it's going to overwhelm not only other people, it's going to overwhelm yourself. It's just going to be too much, and that's going to be really hard to stick with and to stay consistent with. It just really is. So I would suggest starting small, starting with just something that you really don't want to do, that's little, and just saying no. And the hardest part with this is even just saying no to things we should have already been able to say no to. We get backlash, and we probably have been. And you're gonna feel that guilt, that uncomfortable feeling, and you're gonna wanna over-explain. I've done this forever, and I still do. Sometimes I over-explain myself. You don't need to do that. People should respect that. Now, if you did something where you wanna explain a little bit more, or you wanna take responsibility, that's completely different. But people should respect you by just saying no to certain things. And if they're not doing that and you're feeling uncomfortable, and then again, you might want to take a little break from them and maybe explain it to them. It shouldn't keep going on like this. You want to program your mind, your emotions, your body to start feeling comfortable with saying no, or just being able to feel okay. For so long, it was like every decision I had to compromise because I literally didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted myself, but I didn't know how to make everybody happy. And it is true, you're never gonna make everybody happy. You're just not. And it's hard when you're a people pleaser because you'll go to the moon and back to make people happy, and then you will feel exhausted and you won't feel happy, and you will just be like, I can't do this. And that vicious cycle of guilt and shame and everything that goes with that will continue to happen. And it just won't stop because you cannot people please. There's a difference. You can respect people. But the best way to respect people honestly and love people and love yourself is to set boundaries. It sounds like it wouldn't be. It sounds like boundaries have this negative connotation, like, you're the parent and they're the child and you're telling them these boundaries. But the reality is every single person should have boundaries. Everyone. It's not just you. We should all feel comfortable having our boundaries. And it is a lot of hard work, and you're not going to feel that comfortable in the beginning. That's the truth. It's going to be hard and uncomfortable, and you're going to want to quit a lot of times. But you have to stay with it. You have to. That's the next part, is just consistency is key with everything in your life. There is nothing that have you ever been excited about something, super excited, and you're like, yes, I'm going on this journey. And then a few days in or a few weeks in, it gets hard. And then you kind of make excuses for it, and you kind of do it every other day, and you don't stay consistent. You have to stay consistent to the things that matter for you. It produces the results you want, the habits you want. It just does. Consistency, and it sucks. For lack of a better word right now, it does. It's not always fun to stay consistent through the hard times. It's easier to be inconsistent and get that impulsive want and need. But you have to stick with it, because if you cave, then other people are going to cave, and then they're not going to trust your boundaries. They're just going to be like, oh, well, I can go past this. She's just going to change her mind, or she's not serious about it. And that's what happened to me. I was like, I'd say one boundary, then I'd go against it. Then it was like the girl that cried wolf, and it was confusing. And when you're confusing to people, you're confusing to yourself. And how do you expect people to respect you and know what you want if you don't even know what you want? You just don't. So I suggest taking time and literally sitting down with a piece of paper and writing what you want, not what society wants, not what your family wants, not what friends want, what you actually want. And see those boundaries and see where you can put them up, where you want to compromise, what's very important to you, and go from there. And again, this is a lifetime of working on this, but it's good to just really get started. And I'm telling you, it's that snowball effect, and you will feel so much better about yourself and your confidence, and things people say and do just won't affect you as much as you grow into it and you grow into your purpose. And I'm so excited to just be talking about this, because as hard as they are, it's just that transformation when you start to see yourself become you, the real you, is amazing. So again, you have to set these boundaries, and next, they apply to everyone. For me, it was just friends and romantic relationships. But the thing is it's everyone. And this is taboo to many people, but families included. And that's the hardest one that everyone has issues with, because they're blood. And if that's how they are, then that's just how they are, and you have to deal with it. And that's not true. If it is extremely detrimental to your life and it is making you sad, and your family, your new family sad, like your husband, your wife, your kids, and it's getting in the way of you being the healthiest version of yourself, then that is not okay, and boundaries need to be set. And if they are not respected, I am sorry to say this, and again, it's up to you, it's not up to me, then people may not be in your life anymore, and that might be the decision that you need to make one day, or maybe you need to distance them for a while. I don't know, but I do know that feeling bad and shameful and guilty all the time and nervous around certain people, whether they're family or not, is not positive, is not going to bring you to that place. And then we're not going to get to see all your talents and all your great things and everything you have to offer to this world. We're really not going to. Sorry, it's really hard for me to not talk with my hands, so I'm trying here. But we really aren't going to. So please just know it's not offensive also. Boundaries are not negative. Everyone should have them. So I'm going to keep saying that until people realize that. And then lastly, we have to not communicate, that you have to forget, you can't forget to communicate your boundaries clearly and concisely. Again, for a really long time, I didn't know what I wanted. I just wanted to be respected. I was so sick of feeling like I wasn't being respected. But the honest to God truth is I wasn't respecting myself or my boundaries or my beliefs. I was just letting everyone have a say and do what they want, and then I would be mad at them for it. And the truth really is I was mad at myself for letting everyone else do that. And it just becomes this vicious cycle of people pleasing and then feeling the shame and guilt, and then feeling all this anger towards people when I didn't know what I wanted, and I definitely didn't clearly and concisely say the boundaries, and I didn't stick with them. And so of course it was going to be chaos all the time. And coming from a past of trauma and different experiences, this happens and it becomes highly addictive. Our minds, our bodies, we want the drama. We say that we don't want the drama because we don't like how it feels and the chaos. But it's what we need, it's what we crave to then calm down. It's what we have built is this bad habit. And so you really, really need to discuss boundaries and be clear with them. And if you don't know, if you're not sure how to go about that, then sit down again with yourself and write down the things that bother you or the things that you want. Like really write them down, say them out loud. Make sure that you know your own boundaries. And that's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. You may not know with some people. You may still be confused, but you may feel like, I'm confused, but I know this doesn't feel right. And that's the key. When it really just instinctually just doesn't feel right and you're sick of not feeling good anymore, write those down. And as you practice, everything takes practice. As you practice this every day of writing it down and saying no and seeing how you feel, it'll become clearer and more concise. And you'll be able to just say no and say how you feel. And again, it's going to lead you to where you want to be. And until you do those, even though it sucks and sometimes we don't want the boundaries because we just want to keep things at bay, right? We just want to keep peace. But inside of us is this eternal chaos. And we're never going to take it to the next level in our life, whatever that is, with our profession, with ourselves, with our relationships, if we don't stick to it, if we don't know what we want. And it's just going to be this long life of where we're always feeling angry and regretful and that we're just sitting around doing nothing. And I did it. I really did it. And I just got sick of it. So that's how this got written, part of this. And this is how boundaries and how I kind of went about it. So this is a little long. It's my first video. But I do want to hear what you guys have to say. So in the comments, tell me about the struggles you're having with the boundaries. Tell me about the good things you've experienced with the boundaries. We all want to hear it because although we experience different things, boundaries apply to all of us. So again, I'd love to hear back from you. So say that in the comments, and in the time being, check out my stories. I'm always doing that. Go to ladybecollective.com and check out the rest of my ebooks. Download this one for free. You can check out my clothing for a cause. It's my shameless plug, but this is I have a social distancing one. They all go to good charities. I have the toilet paper t-shirt. I have all the kind of pandemic ones, as well as other bow tie inspired ones. Use Lady Be Collective 20 all caps for 20% off. Okay, I'm done with the shameless plug. But yeah, just check out my website, check out stuff about me, check out the stories, check out the ebooks, and I will communicate with you guys in the discussion. If you want to DM me, feel free to do that. And I will see you next Monday. So I hope you're having a healthy and safe Monday. If you're not and you're feeling down, just know that you're not alone with this, that, to keep going. I'm here, my DMs are open. This is a hard time for all of us. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope that it gets you thinking. And next week, we'll be talking about more from how to take our power back. So Again, have a great rest of your week and check out all of my stuff. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I will get better at these videos. So that's it for now. Bye, guys.